Fuck 'em all! Fuck 'em all! Yeah, Chelsea went Liverpool!
Oh.
Yo, this is
good to see.
Yo, Jonathan Malanda here with Alex, Chelsea Fan TV outside Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 2, Nottingham Forest 2.
Let's have it, boys. Let's have it. Happy Chelsea fans outside the bridge, Charlie, mate. 2-2 against Forest. Are you embarrassed that we're celebrating, or are you happy that we managed to get a point?
I don't know, to be honest, mate. I think that's probably the most Chelsea result possible today. A side that has won one game away from home all season, turns up and actually looks half decent against us. I'm just used to it, mate. It's the least surprising thing going that we've not won that game today. We get excited. Well, we didn't get excited, but we enjoy our win against Bournemouth last weekend because it's been so long. You get to this one and you allow yourself to have a little bit more hope because we won that game last week. But the reality is, mate, we're still miles off being a decent side, and that was just shown again today. We were decent in patches. First half was an absolute shambles. Second half was a little bit better from about 45 to 60 minutes, but as soon as they equalised, mate, we just didn't look like doing anything. We're slow on the ball, the build-up play so slow, passing backwards, passing sideways, just no urgency, just not doing anything. There's no urgency moving the ball forward. It's so frustrating because you get the ball right, you're moving it quickly, someone gets it, and then too many touches, all momentum in the attack's killed. We go back and then we try and start again. It's so annoying.
Are you talking more about the second half when we were progressing a little bit more, but still not really able to penetrate?
I mean, in the first half it wasn't as bad because we were getting the ball out to Madueke a lot, who was trying his best to make something happen. But second half it was a lot more frustrating, and that's what you've got to do. These teams that come here, that are going to sit low, defend deep. You've got to move the ball quickly to break it down. If you just take loads of time just knocking the ball about, they're just going to get back into shape, reset, and just soak it all up. And it's going to make it so much harder for yourself. And we just made it really difficult for ourselves today. We go a goal down, we get back into the game, we go 2-1 up, and then we still throw it away. The goals we conceded today, we've actually been half decent defensively this season. Somehow we're still third or fourth best defence in the league. But look at the goals we conceded today. Absolute fucking shambles at the back. And Mendy comes back in goal today. I don't think any of us expected that. A bit of a surprise all round that he was given the nod today. No one talked to me about Kepa making mistakes again. I don't want to hear it. What the fuck was that from Mendy today? What was that? And yes, people will say, oh, he's rusty, oh, he's not played a lot of football recently. This is basic stuff. Where the fuck's your communication for that first goal? It's like fucking Checkle Brothers, to me, to you, to me. What's going on? Where's the communication? It's not. Silva should be doing better there as well. Mendy, as a goalkeeper, you've got to take charge of that situation. You've got to say, you've got to come and claim that. What are you doing? So, people that moan about Kepa every week, I'm sick. I don't want to hear it, because that from Mendy today was awful. Both goals he was at fault for, and it was a nightmare return. And let's be totally honest, mate. That was his game today. See you later. I don't want to see you anymore. And that's hopefully his farewell appearance, because that was awful today. And people that criticise Kepa, got no right to do so, because the alternative's Mendy, and we've seen what he's done today. Imagine if Kepa had done those things today, how much more battering he would be getting than Mendy would. So that Mendy experiment, or whatever it was today from Lampard, didn't work at all. It was a disaster.
Yeah. Do you think the defence need to take any blame for those goals either, or is it just the keeper?
No, it's a collective. I think definitely the first one, you've got to call that. The second one, I mean, I was down the other end, I couldn't really see it, but it just looks like a bit of a scramble in the box, and it gets put in. I think everyone can do better in that situation. But defensively today, we weren't as good as we normally are. Yes, I know we concede goals, but normally we look a bit more assured, a bit more calm there. I'm wondering maybe we're looking a bit more shaky today because it's a different goalkeeper in the sticks. These guys haven't played with Mendy for quite a long time, so you're learning. You're playing behind a new keeper, and I'll be honest, mate, I always get a bit nervous when Mendy plays. Whenever he gets the ball at the back, I always feel a bit nervous. I still feel nervous with Kepa, but less nervous.
Yeah. We were both there when we conceded those terrible goals against Leeds and lost 3-0. But it wasn't a mistake with his feet today. It was just classic goalkeeping error.
It's just poor goalkeeping. Simple as that. It's just really, really poor goalkeeping. It's just basics, And people that say, a goalkeeper, we do need a new goalkeeper, but it's not really a priority. Like a striker and a defensive midfield player, much more important. I agree, but today, that is why we need a new fucking goalkeeper, because we switched goalkeepers today and we're still making mistakes. We've got goalkeepers that have just got mistakes in them, and you just can't have that. When you want to compete at the top level, you cannot have goalkeepers making mistakes on a regular basis like we do. You just cannot do that.
I mean, speaking of players making mistakes, we have one player who never makes any in Thiago Silva. I mean, the last mistake I remember him making was against West Brom during COVID, during lockdown or whatever it was. So, and that was when Lampard was manager in the first term. So, how important is it for us to try and keep a hold of a player like him?
Oh, mate, it's absolutely vital. The banner's there for him today. He loved that. He appreciated it. We love him at this club, Absolutely love him. I don't think when he came in on a free transfer, I don't think anyone expected him to have the impact he's had, to have the longevity he's had here, and to have the level of performances that he's had. As you say, apart from the games against West Brom, he hasn't put in a bad performance in a Chelsea shirt, which is mad. He's so important to this team, not just on the pitch, off the pitch as well. He's the only real leader we've actually got in terms of on-pitch leadership. No one else has got those leadership qualities. And with the young centre-backs we've got, Badiashile, Fofana, Levi Colwill to come back, Chalobah, he's the perfect guy to learn from. So not only is it vitally important to keep him from a playing perspective, but it's vitally important we keep him from a leadership perspective and a learning perspective for those younger centre-backs when he eventually does move on. Look, whether he moves on or stays, I think it's entirely up to him. He signed the 1-year contract extension. We'd all love him to stay, but if he decides that, for his family, for his sake, that he wants to go back to Brazil, then I don't think anyone's going to begrudge him that. But hopefully we can do all we can to keep him, and I think he will stay. But yeah, we have to keep him because that would be such a big hole to fill, and we'd have to buy another centre-back potentially, and that wasn't part of the plan in the window, so we've got to do what we can to keep him.
Yeah, I mean, not just the players we need to keep, there's so many players we need to get rid of. I mean, Pulisic is obviously an obvious one, Ziyech as well. People are still confused why he's playing.
Yeah, mate, I'll be honest, I'm fucking fuming with Lampard today. Why is Ziyech getting minutes ahead of Mudryk still? Why is that happening? Why is Ziyech still playing for Chelsea? We know that he doesn't want to be here. It's so obvious he doesn't want to be here, and yet he's getting minutes ahead of Mudryk. There's no reason why Mudryk should not be playing. He should have been starting today. Yes, he didn't have a great game against Bournemouth, but he's a young player. You've got to. The only way young players are going to improve is by playing consistent minutes and getting a run of games. Mudryk's not going to get any better if he's in the team 1 week, then he's out of the team. You can guarantee, right? If Mudryk had started today and put in that first half performance that Sterling did, Mudryk would have been subbed at half time. You can guarantee that. And I'd love to ask Lampard why he didn't pick Mudryk today. Why Mudryk didn't even come off the bench? Because what is the thinking behind that? Because there's literally no excuses. We're playing for absolutely nothing this season. There's no reason why we shouldn't be playing the younger players and giving them some game time, giving them experience going into next season and beyond. It's totally inexcusable and it's absolutely criminal from him. And I'm so pissed off with him because that you just cannot be doing that. There is no valid reason for that whatsoever to be happening. This is a guy who spent a lot of money on that should be playing regular minutes to help him bed in. He's come from a new league, new country, and we're just leaving him on the bench like a side man, and you're playing Ziyech. He doesn't want to fucking be here, and he's getting regular minutes. It's a disgrace.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just players that he's bringing on; it's also players he's starting. A lot of people, they're like, why are we playing Gallagher? I mean, he's clearly not good enough.
You know what?
But he does have the heart. Yeah. But is that enough? I mean, I guess that's all we have at the moment.
Mate, all we've got is just someone that runs about. I mean, Gallagher, to be fair, probably deserved to start today off the back of his performance against Bournemouth. I guess if we're looking at it like that. I was going to criticise the decision to include Sterling, but I guess after scoring 2 goals, it can't really be too harsh. I don't think he deserved to start at all. He come off the bench against Bournemouth and got an assist by a simple pass. Really, is that a criteria to start in these days? You just play a simple 5-yard pass for an assist and you're back in the team again. You've got to do more than that. Yes, that was a good second half from him today. That's a good start. But at the same time, you've got to do better than that. You've got to do better than that. 2 goals today, took them well. The second goal particularly, but at the same time, we need that more on a consistent basis. We know that you've got that in the locker and you can do that, but you've still got to do better. You've got to do that on a more consistent basis. You really do.
Yeah. I mean, anything else that you just want to pinpoint out of this game, or just for the rest of the season? Anything that you want to say to Chelsea fans who are watching from home, not going to these games?
Is that Thiago Silva? Oh, that's his wife. There we go. some love. Of course, father's over there getting a photo. Of course.
Go on, father.
Go on,
father. Get your picture. Yeah.
Love that. What was the question? Sorry, mate.
We were too obsessed with father simping over Thiago Silva's missus.
Embarrassed. The geezer's got no shame. In terms of other things, general performance today.
What you would say to other Chelsea fans that are watching from home, and your thoughts on the season?
Thoughts on the season, mate. It's been a ride, mate. It's been a ride. It's been probably the worst season in our Chelsea lives of following the club, and we've had some good days out. We've had some shocking days out. Would we swap any of it? Probably not, because we just love the club and we can't keep away from it. It's a healthy addiction, you could say. But I think the message for me to Chelsea fans is just like, be patient. This club's too big an institution not to rise again and be successful again. It's totally debatable whether it would be the same success we've experienced in the last 20 years under Roman, but at the same time I think we can have success in a different way. So I do believe that good times are around the corner. We're not a million miles away. Get Pochettino through the door, allow him to do his thing, work his magic, let him get rid of the players he needs to get rid of, let him trim that squad down, allow him to do his tactics on the pitch, bring the players in that we need to. We've got to bring in a centre forward, a goalkeeper and a defensive midfield player, and then let's go from there and see what happens. Playing once a week whilst it's shit and we have to sit back and watch everyone else play in Europe, it's going to be really beneficial for the tactics, getting the team to gel and stuff. That's going to actually serve us better in the long term, I think. So, the message would be just be positive, stay patient. I know it's tough right now, but we need to stick together, and good times will come to this club again, because as we can see over there in the background, we've won it all. All the trophies are up there, and, we will win again. I just don't know when it's going to be, but, we're not as far away as we think we are. We've got a great squad in the place. It just needs a couple of alterations, and I think we can seriously get back to the top end of the table again.
Thank you very much, mate. Always a pleasure.